So, boa tarde. That's my Portuguese, I'm afraid. Thank you very much for your welcome, and Abilio, thank you for the opportunity to be here and to taste a little bit of the plenitude that you have generated. We've heard a lot about meditation as a tool, as a technique, and of course it can validly be looked at in that way. I'm not going to speak about meditation just as a tool or a technique that can be measured or that will solve problems, but more as a discipline, a life discipline. The word discipline, of course, comes from the Latin discere, which means to learn. So to see meditation as a life-enhancing discipline, and to see it as a way, ultimately, of liberation, to be liberated from what holds us in bondage, most of which we can summarize as the fears and the desires of our ego, which is a contemporary word, in a way, for sin. So I'd like to speak about meditation, first of all, universally, generally, because it is a universal practice, a universal wisdom. It wasn't invented at Harvard. Harvard has produced some wonderful things, but it didn't invent meditation. And it has been around, really, I think, since human beings began to become conscious beyond a certain level. They became conscious of themselves and conscious of others and relationship. And of course, we find a contemplative wisdom at the heart of all of the great religious traditions. That contemplative wisdom often gets overlaid, overshadowed by institutions, by dogma, and by belief systems operating separately. And I think the great challenge to all religions today is really to reconnect the contemplative dimension to the other aspects of religion. And then religion, which we have to live with. We can't destroy religion. And the forms of religion that we are living are truly beneficial and are not competitive with each other, but they're working for a common good. So I think by discovering, remembering this contemplative wisdom at the heart of all religion, that includes my own Christian tradition, I think we are making a contribution to the well-being of the world. So I'm not presenting meditation as a way that's going to solve all, either your personal problems or the problems of the world. But what it does do, without any doubt, and I speak from my own experience, and I speak from having learnt from the experience of others with whom I've shared this, what it does, without any doubt, do is to transform the way you look at those problems, the way you perceive and relate to the situations in your life. A discipline is the way you are continually learning, as you are in music or in sport. You're continually learning, and the practice itself is delicious and constantly teaching you. The other thing I'd like to say at the beginning is that meditation is a practice. It's not about theory. It's not about rearranging the concepts and coming up with solutions. It's really about entering into an experience. Why should this experience, which I'll describe now, of silence, of stillness, of solitude, why should it, and above all of simplicity, why should it create new relationships among people? Now, I'm not saying this is the only way to heaven or the only way to solve the world's problems, but I am convinced that it is a wisdom that goes right back to the core, historically and psychologically and spiritually, of our human consciousness. And the basic rule of posture in meditation, whether you sit on a chair, as we are, or on a cushion, is to keep your back straight. That will help you to stay alert and relaxed your feet on the ground, your hands on your lap or on your knees. So your body feels comfortable, relaxed, but also awake and alert. Relax your shoulders, relax the muscles of your face. Now, meditation in this way now is the journey, the pilgrimage really, from the mind to the heart. And we take this journey step by step by laying aside our thoughts. Good thoughts and bad thoughts, negative and positive. We lay aside our imagination, good images and not so good images, ideas, words, and images. And to help us to do that, following this very ancient and also universal wisdom, we take a single word, a mantra, a sacred word, a prayer phrase. And to help you to get into it, I'll suggest a very ancient Christian mantra, actually the oldest Christian prayer. It's in the language that Jesus spoke, Aramaic. It means, it's Maranatha, 4 syllables, Ma-ra-na-tha. It means, come Lord, but we're not thinking about the meaning of it as we say it. If you choose this word, an important thing is to stay with the same word from the beginning to the end of the meditation. If you choose this word, say it gently without force. Say it patiently. Say it attentively. This is pure attention. And say it simply like a child. Ma-ra-na-tha. 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 So we'll meditate just for a few minutes now, and then we'll conclude. So let's conclude with these few words from the Gospel of Luke. They asked him, "When will the kingdom of God come?" And he replied, "You cannot tell by observation when the kingdom of God will come. You cannot say, look, here it is or there it is. Because in fact, the kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of God is among you."